Have you ever felt like you've lost time when you drive from point A to point B and you're not sure how you got to your destination? We're living in this world on autopilot, running that rat race. Months and years go by until we finally realize that we're just not in the right place where we think we should be. Our finances may not be in order. Our may not be satisfying where we are right now. Our relationships may be going downhill. And the list can go on and on. Where did the time go? During this season, there's a lot of people that are saying, whew, it's already December, Christmas. The new year is right around the corner. Where did the time go? And when you start reaching the age, late 40s, your 50s and 60s plus, you could be saying to yourself as well, where did all the time go by? Like, we may also be feeling, why are we not in a place where we need to be right now? Now, we can't go back in time and bring things forward, right? We can only start with what we have today. How do we get started today? Building that life of freedom, flexibility. I don't know if you've thought about retiring early, but that's something you may want to think about. We need to reclaim our time, get our time back from all these years that we've been in a 9 to 5, and really take care of ourselves for once. Now, I would like to share with you some of the steps that I've been working on towards my early retirement. So let's talk about it. Welcome to another episode of Just Lovely Living. My name is Tanya, and here is where I guide women over the age of 50 to leave their 9 to 5 job and step into early retirement to do some slow traveling with strategic planning and practical tools, and of course, community. Let's build that life that we deserve. I started this channel to document my journey towards early retirement, and I was hoping that there was someone out there doing the same. I wanted to build community so that we can share with one another what we are doing, encourage each other to move forward in our process of planning for early retirement. And maybe you're beyond the early retirement years. That's okay. It's never too early and it's never too late to start planning for your future. It's better to have something versus nothing. And it's not all about finances. I talked in some of my other videos about documents you might need, things that you need to gather together for your family so they'll know what it is that you desire for your future way of living. I started this YouTube channel to document my process of moving towards early retirement. And I wanted to build this community with other women who are doing the same, planning for retirement. Let's do this together, ladies. As I research and I find information, I want to come here on this YouTube channel and share that information. Share channels that I've been watching. I'm going to different seminars, in person and online, and we can share that information here right in the comments. So as we go along with these videos, I would love for you to share how you're starting your retirement journey. Share that down below as we get started with this video. This week I had an opportunity to watch a video this week that stopped me in my tracks. So let me get the name of the video for you. It's 5 Reasons to Retire as Soon as You Can. And this is by the Wealth Twins. Lovely ladies. I love what they're sharing. I love how they tag team on the same subject, giving their own point of view. Now, out of these 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can, there was one in particular that really hit me with a ton of bricks. And that one thing is, one sister said, early retirement gives you freedom over time, right? And then the other sister said, it allows you to take back your personal power. That statement right there meant everything to me. I realized being in a 9 to 5, my 9 to 5 is pretty much flexible. But there's still those little quirks that you have to follow the rules. When you have to go on vacation, you have to get someone to replace you on vacation. And it's just a little nuance of things being in a 9 to 5 that takes away your power just a little bit. And it doesn't feel so good. So to early retirement, I'm looking forward to early retirement so that I can claim back my power, claim back my time. I think we can do that with early retirement. We just got to plan it out, right? That's all we got to do. We got to plan, okay? So this week, for some reason, I just felt like I've lost a block of time. Like I can't remember what I did last week. Getting emails, knowing I did something already, watching some shows that I'm trying to catch up on, and I'm thinking, I know I saw this before, but I can't remember like a whole week of time. Now that just might be my menopause brain, but we're not going to get into that today. Not today. Needless to say, after watching that video from the Wealth Twins, 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can, that got me motivated. And we can build on motivation, right? We can't live on motivation alone, but we can definitely build on it. We can build on it with community, but it definitely got me going into the files and let me see what else I can do to plan for my retirement. So you know what I did? I went to the Social Security website, SSA.gov, and I went and I pulled down my Social Security report. Now, I'm only 56, so I am a long way, somewhat of a long way, of getting to Social Security age of pulling that. But I want to be prepared prior to. When you run that report, you may have some missing years that you need to account for. So there was one year, it looks like on my report, it might have been 2018, where I know I was doing some entrepreneurship things, but I know I've earned some kind of income and I shouldn't just have a 0. So that is something else in my files that needs to be corrected. I talked about it in a couple of my videos ago about the documents that I'm trying to get together and how I'm short a year for my military records as well. So I've got to get on this now. So when it is time for me to early retire, I can have all that information together, right? What else? So I've also made a decision for my finances to take $100 a month to put into stocks. Now I've got accounts here and there, and I'm trying to focus on my Fidelity account, of building my portfolio there because that was the largest amount that I had. I end up transferring one of my 401ks to that account. So I want to start building my portfolio there. And so thinking of the 401k, I don't know if your job offers that, but I hope that you are taking advantage of that. Now, I currently work for a nonprofit organization, so we have 403b. My intentions was not to stay with this company so long. I've been here for 5 years now. And each year I kept saying, this is the year I'm going to move on. But needless to say, I thank God I am still here because I do like my job and I like the people that I work with. But I digressed, right? So yeah, we had to wait a year before we can participate in the 403b. And I waited another 2 years. So I just started the beginning of this year, 2025, but they match 100%. So whatever the percentage, up to a certain percentage is 2% of my base salary, I can pull out money that I don't even know that's missing. So for an example, if I take out a $50 to go into that account, they match that $50. If it's $100, they'll match that $100. And even in this year, that amount has expanded. It has grown because they're investing that money. So although I didn't start at year 1 after my first year, I've been doing it now for a year with this particular company. And it makes a difference, right? And so I'm going to continue to take out for that retirement fund while I'm still working with this company. And then once I leave, I'll be able to roll it over into an IRA. And there's other methods of where you can roll it over as well, because I've done that in the past with some of my other companies too. And I'm also looking at how can I take advantage of the skills that I am gaining from this position that I'm in. There's one last certification that I'm working on. So I've just started studying that. I have to take my exam in February. So I've got a couple of more months that I've got to study, but I'm just looking at all the ways while I'm on my 9 to 5 to take advantage of all the things to put me in a better position, because I tend to do some consulting. You know, I have an HR background. And so if I'm traveling, I should be able to do some consulting while I'm traveling as well. So I'm trying to gain those skills now that I can use for when I finally go out there and retire. Now, retirement looks different for everybody, whether you retire to work no longer because you're financially able to do that. I'm not quite in that position, but even though I'm not in that position all the way financially, that's not going to stop me from retiring early. So let nothing stop you from retiring early. We just got to build a plan, establish a plan to make that happen for ourselves. So those are just a few things that I've been working on for this week. And I want to encourage you to take those first steps to planning your retirement. Do the small things while you can. Use some of the finances that you are getting from your 9 to 5 to maybe invest on your own and do some other things. Maybe there are some certifications that you may need. But I would like to encourage you to do that. And I hope that you will continue to join me on these videos so we can build a community. And you may be that person that's having some challenges just getting started. I know that is the hardest thing to do, is just get started, right? You say you're going to do something, you'll put it off until next week. Next week turns into, I'll put it off next month. And before you know it, oh, I'll wait for the first of the year. But make your first tomorrow. Make your first now and just get started with the little things first. So I want to give you a resource that I have, and I'm going to put that information in the description. I have a free workbook that includes an audio, and it's just a small workbook, and I give you 5 steps to starting a goal. Prep work, pre-work. Before you even make a commitment of any goal, prep for that goal first. So these are just 5 simple steps that you can take to get started. And it kind of gradually moves you up to that point of committing to making a goal. So I'll put that information. It's a free resource available. You download the workbook, and then you can download the audio as well. And I just want you to get started with planning for your early retirement. The video for the Wealth Sisters is going to be in the description as well, because I would really like for you to check out that video. 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can. So I thank you for joining me for this episode of Just Lovely Living. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What is going to be your first step? I hope your first step is downloading my free resources. That would be great. But just let me know, how are you planning your early retirement? Thank you all for joining me. And I also want to thank all of my new subscribers for this week. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my videos and subscribe. Now, if you have not subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and like this video. So thank you all and have a lovely day.